Hey everybody, I'm Alan with Bricks and Blocks Gaming, tabletop gaming with bricks and blocks and helping to build your gameplay foundation. In this video, I'll be giving a general overview of the new Fireheart supplement for the game of Frostgrave. This supplement focuses on constructs and other magically animated things, and players that like to use enchanters or like interesting terrain should definitely check this out. I won't be giving all the details and specifics about what's in the book, as I want to encourage viewers to support author Joseph McCullough and publisher Osprey Games by purchasing the book yourselves to get all the information. So let's get to the bricks and blocks of the Fireheart supplement for Frostgrave. The book starts out with an introduction that gives a glimpse into the thoughts of the author about not just what inspired him to write it, but how he started his whole journey into wargaming. From what I've learned about Joe McCullough over the 4.5 years I've been playing his games, is he's someone who really cares about the products he writes and makes his games based not on what might sell, but on what he thinks is fun and cool. And he's truly grateful that other people enjoy what he's created. And this introduction does a great job showing that care and love for what he does that he puts into all the content he releases. After the introduction, the Fireheart supplement dives into some rules clarifications, including how potions can't be used on constructs, a discussion about altering the timing of Animate construct spells used between games, and a lot of cool new features that spell can do. There's now rules for using the spell to repair and reanimate fallen constructs. It can be used to make modifications to a new or existing construct, which I'll discuss later. Something I wasn't expecting to see are rules for using it to create prosthetic body parts. As well as normal prosthetics, there's 7 upgraded versions that can be created for spellcasters or captains that have suffered permanent injuries. And it talks about using scrolls of Animate construct and some of the limitations the scrolls have regarding some of the new features of the spell. The main draw to this book is the ability to customize a warband's constructs with modifications. The book contains 2 tables with a total of 40 possible upgrades that can be added to one of these animated soldiers. Each modification requires a spellcaster to find or purchase their required parts, and if using the black market contacts option, there's rules included for how to come about these. Once a spellcaster has their needed parts, they can use Animate Construct with an additional -2 penalty to create a new construct with the chosen upgrade, or the spell can add the parts to an existing construct, also with a -2 penalty to the roll. And if failed, the parts are kept for a future attempt. Improving one part of a construct means another part may be lacking. So for most upgrades, the soldier also receives a -1 penalty to the player's choice of its move, fight, armor, will, or health stats. Upgrades can be given to just generic, small, medium, or large constructs, as more unique constructs are assumed to have already been modified. And each construct can have just one modification. There's notes about how originally 2 modifications were going to be allowed, but Frostgrave is really about keeping things simple, and this would lead to a lot of extra things, especially for an opponent, to keep track of. The author has suggested letting just one of the constructs per warband have 2 upgrades if the players agree. One last thing to note about upgrades is that all the old magical items relating to constructs that have been used in other Frostgrave books have been included here with new wording to work with the rules contained in the Fireheart supplement. And should a player find one of these items from a different book, and the play group is using this rulebook, the wording found here should take precedence. Another interesting thing this supplement contains is rules for interactive terrain, with a table of 20 possible things that could show up. This is here for players that want to add some extra variety to their table, or for players who like to build terrain, though none of the features are too elaborate from a crafting standpoint. Players can use these features for any scenario they're playing, or creating, and some of these are used in the 5 new scenarios found in the book. These scenarios are designed to be one-off games, not a linked campaign. so they can easily be integrated into whatever a playgroup may be doing. And after each of these battles, any player that has secured at least one treasure token gets to make an additional free roll for an item from the construct modification table. And when rolling up treasure results, players can substitute one normal treasure token roll each game for a roll on a new treasure table the book contains as well, with 20 new items. Some of these are themed towards constructs, but most can benefit any warband. Probably my favorite addition with supplements is new soldier types to add more variety to warband lineups. This book contains 4 of them, all of which are standard, non-specialist soldiers. The Construct Familiar is a small construct that can be created with Animate Construct. It has weak stats, but can have Wizard Eye cast on it to create a moving Wizard Eye to aid the spellcasters with their line of sight spells. The Construct Hound is also a small construct that can be animated or purchased by any warband. They're slower than Warhounds, but they have more health, can't be wounded because they're constructs, and if you have a kennel attached to your base, you can add one of these instead of a regular Warhound. The Scrounger isn't a construct, but is useful for a construct-themed wizard. If using black market contacts, they give you an extra roll on the construct modification table to see what's for sale, and they give a discount on anything purchased from that table. And their stats make them a viable soldier on the battlefield as well. And the last is the Tinkerer, also not a construct, and it gives their wizard a bonus to either animate construct or embed enchantment spells between games. Their stats are fairly similar to a Thug's, so on the battlefield they should probably be a dedicated treasure grabber. And finally, there's a Bestiary that includes 9 monsters. And one of the items on the new treasure table, the Book of the Construct, if found, can be used to create some of the unique constructs found here. As for my opinion about the Fireheart supplement, it definitely caters toward players that want to create construct-focused warbands, and I think those players will really enjoy this supplement. But the options for the interactive terrain can be a great way for any player to add some additional features to spice up their Frostgrave games. And I really like the new Construct Hound to give some options with the kennel-based resource. I will admit that stat penalties for modifications and the max of 1 modification per construct were a surprise and seem kind of limiting, but I'm okay with that. I don't like excessive power creep in games, and the author does a good job in his supplements of adding fun optional elements without making them auto-includes for everybody. That said, I think this book will inspire a lot of people to try out constructs. So be sure to check out some of my other content and let me know in the comments what you're most excited about for the Fireheart supplement. And you can feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any future videos. I'm Alan with Bricks and Blocks Gaming. Thanks for watching and play well.